Welcome to datascience.show, the podcast where data science meets executive leadership. We talk with top AI and analytics thought leaders about turning data into real business impact. If you're a C-level leader or data expert shaping the future, you're in the right place.
I'm your host, Mirko Peters. We explore how data science and AI drive real business impact, straight from the leaders making it happen. Today's episode is about a problem every executive is quietly facing: shadow AI, the unsanctioned models, browser plugins, and automations that live outside IT and compliance. In the next 22 minutes, I'll give you an executive playbook to discover, manage, and harness those grassroots solutions without killing innovation.
Here's the promise. By the end of this episode, you'll have a repeatable discovery sprint, a risk and value triage approach, and 2 immediate next steps you can execute this quarter. Why this matters now? Because decentralized access to AI tools is permanent, and unmanaged shadow AI is both a compliance risk and a potential source of competitive advantage.
First, a quick case study persona I'll reference. A head of analytics at a 10,000-person financial services firm. They report to the chief data officer, run a central analytics platform, and field dozens of ad hoc requests from sales, operations, and risk teams. Their environment: heavy regulation, lots of legacy systems, and business units that can't wait for IT's 6-month project timelines. Enter shadow AI. Employees using external LLMs to automate reporting, browser extensions to summarize sensitive documents, and DIY APIs that stitch together data flows.
When I first saw it, it looked like magic and a mess at the same time. A junior analyst had saved our team 2 days of work with a small script calling a public model. No approvals, no logs, and it touched customer PII. We gained speed, and we opened a regulatory hole. It was a classic trade-off. That anecdote frames the challenge. Shadow AI creates value fast and risk quietly. Let's get practical. Start with discovery, the low-friction, high-signal steps you can run in 4 weeks. First lane, telemetry and logs. Aggregate SaaS usage logs, outbound traffic patterns, and API keys. Second lane, SaaS inventory and payroll signals. Who's subscribing to new tools on corporate emails? Third lane, human intelligence, rapid surveys, focused interviews, and a non-punitive discovery sprint that asks teams, what are you using that should be visible? Run these in parallel. Telemetry surfaces technical footprints. The inventory identifies licenses and shadow subscriptions. Interviews reveal intent, business impact, and the real owners. Put the results into a central register. Tool name, owner, data touched, business outcome, and a preliminary risk score.
Now, triage. Use 2 axes: business value and risk exposure. High value, low risk. Candidates for rapid sanctioning. Give them a light path to production. High value, high risk. Require a controlled sandbox and legal review. Low value, high risk. Retire or block. Low value, low risk. Monitor and revisit. Keep the triage criteria measurable: data classification touched, regulatory scope, IP exposure, and expected ROI in 90 days.
We used a simple scoring table: data sensitivity, vendor transparency, reproducibility, and estimated business impact. That table moved conversations from opinions to decisions. Teams could see why a tool was allowed or blocked. It made enforcement easier and fairer.
Good governance relies on clarity and speed. Design lightweight approval lanes, a fast lane for low-risk, high-value ideas with a 1-page intake form and automated telemetry. A sandbox lane for mid-risk experiments with time-boxed access and mandatory logging. And a procurement lane for high-risk, high-value solutions with vendor assessments and contracts. The aim is to avoid a single bureaucratic gate and instead give teams predictability. Operational controls you can deploy quickly. Single sign-on enforcement, endpoint protection with outbound API policies, managed API key vaults, and model use logging. But remember, controls without incentives fail. Tie a small budget and recognition to teams that graduate tools from shadow to sanctioned. Create an internal marketplace where validated tools get a badge, a support SLA, and a path to productization.
We launched a validated tools page inside our intranet.
It was low effort and immediately reduced redundant DIY work. Teams preferred going through a lightweight approval because it gave them stability and vendor support, and it saved them rework later.
Executive sponsorship matters. Assign ownership across 3 functions. IT owns controls and telemetry. Legal owns vendor risk and data contracts. The business owns outcomes and productization. Form a small steering team, 5 to 7 people, empowered to make sanctioning decisions in 2 weeks. Publish simple KPIs, number of discovered shadow AI instances, percent remediated or validated, time to decision, and realized ROI from graduated solutions.
Measure the cost of control versus the cost of failure. Track compliance incidents avoided, operational hours saved by validated tools, and revenue or cost improvement from sanctioned automations. Use these metrics in your quarterly review to justify light-touch governance budgets and to keep the steering team accountable. Let's talk about culture. To avoid stifling innovation, make discovery non-punitive. Communicate that reporting shadow AI is rewarded, not punished. Offer a short runway. Teams can ask for a 30-day sandbox while the steering team evaluates risk. That approach flips the default from hide or block to test and validate.
Looking ahead, shadow AI won't disappear. New models, embedded AI and SaaS, and low-code connectors will expand the surface area. Your governance must be adaptable. Build policies that classify risk by data sensitivity and vendor characteristics rather than by specific tools. Automate detection where you can. Edge proxies, SaaS posture management, and model telemetry will do the heavy lifting at scale.
What helped us scale was a template-driven process. Every validated tool had a 1-page graduation pack. Who owns it, what data it touches, rollback plan, and a 90-day review. That made it repeatable and reduced surprises later.
Before we close, 2 immediate actions for leaders. First, run a 2-week discovery sprint. Gather logs, a SaaS inventory, and 3 focus interviews. Produce a register and score the top 10 shadow AI items. Second, establish a sandbox policy and a fast lane approval that lets low-risk, high-value ideas graduate in under 30 days. These are high-impact, low-effort moves you can start this quarter.
Final reflection. Treat shadow AI as both risk and opportunity. With clear discovery, measured triage, lightweight governance, and visible executive ownership, you can convert hidden automations into governed sources of innovation. That's the difference between models and value.
If you found this episode valuable, subscribe and share it with your network. And let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm Mirko Peters. We'll be back with more conversations on how data science and AI create real business impact. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to datascience.show. If you found value in this episode, subscribe, share it with your network, and join us next time as we explore how data science drives smarter decisions and better business outcomes.